Today I had the opportunity to show a friend of mine my use of Expensify, and I figured the content would be useful for the readers as well, so I decided to make this screencast. Expensify is an expense tracking and receipt management system. You can get to it at expensify.com, and you can sign up here using the sign up link on the main page. I already have a Pair of the Week account, so we'll log in there. One of the tricky things about expenses is they happen when they happen, usually when you're at the gas station or you're out at dinner, and you need to quickly log a receipt and remember what exactly you spent the money on. It's usually not useful to you till sometime closer to April when you're doing your taxes or when you're running reimbursements for employees or something like that. So this is a really great way to track them, and the free version, which is what I'm going to show you tonight, has a lot of features that can help anybody who's a sole proprietor or individual investor. So we're going to start with the reports feature, and reports I use for determining what the expense was for. I have 3 sample reports here. Schedule E is a tax designation for investment-related expenses, and Schedule C is a tax designation for sole proprietor contracting type work. So in this case, this person would have a property or properties in Toledo and a real estate business in Cleveland, and then also do some Schedule C work like contracting on the side. That's kind of the paradigm I've set up. Now, in addition to that, you have other ways to drill down into what the expense was. You have categories and tags. The categories are automatically set up by Expensify, and there's a lot of good ones here. They tend to match the kind of things that a lot of business would categorize their expenses as, but you can add custom ones as well. Now, tags are typically most useful for your later data analysis. A good example of this would be at the end of the year, you want to figure out what amount of money you've spent on each different activity you do in your investment or business. So I've got some sample tags here, for instance, out viewing properties, investor relations, service provider relations, and contracting. So the different tags will tell you, okay, within this report, 30% of my money was spent on this tag, and that can tell you if you're maybe off in some areas, and it helps you to do better analysis. So between those 3 things, you can get a pretty good picture of what an expense was, and then in addition to that, you can report all the necessary data that the IRS would want you to have if you were to back up the expense. So let's just try uploading a simple expense. This is a New York City cab receipt, and you can see here we have a way to just import the receipt right from our computer. I've put the image right here. And this is a standard kind of case of a transportation receipt that you'd probably often see in Expensify. If you can read the text down there, the cab cost $41.34, and this was on Saturday. So you can set the date, even the currency here. This is for internal use if it's reimbursable or billable to the client. Don't worry about that here when you're just dealing with your own expenses as a sole proprietor or investor. In this case, this is transportation. I'm going to call this out viewing properties, and I'm going to say was over in the Bed-Stuy neighborhood. So this is just an example of one way you could say, okay, here's what I was doing that day. I was out viewing properties in this neighborhood, and then we're going to add that to Schedule C because this is going to be part of the contracting work. So if you can save that expense gets logged right there. So that's one really awesome way to just quickly log this stuff. And you can do the same from the mobile app, which is awesome, more convenient in most cases. So there's one other great way to log expenses here, and I'm not going to go into all the rich features yet. We might do some later episodes on that. But one of the things I love about Expensify is the fact that you can email a receipt right to it. So I have a Delta Airlines receipt here. This is a bit of an older receipt that I'm just using as an example. But if you send this receipt to receipts@expensify.com, you can actually just get it automatically logged for you. And what it's going to do is it's going to match up your send from email address to the Expensify account. I don't know how long it's going to take to show up in here, but it might get logged pretty quickly. I think they have a delayed job on the back end that does this. Wow, so they've got it. So they're doing a smart scan right now, which is going to try and collect all the info off this Delta receipt. And later on, I might come in and modify that, but this is really amazing. It means it already grabbed the total, which is awesome, and it also grabbed the merchant. It probably is a pretty easy receipt to read. But you're logging these receipts the moment they come in, so it's almost thoughtless, the fact that you can just send this right over to Expensify and get this receipt here. Now, you're still going to have to add categories and tags later. There are automation rules you can do in your settings to automatically do that for you, but that's a bit more advanced. So that is 2 great ways you can log expenses using the web app. Definitely send me your questions and check out the video I have for the mobile phone as well. Thanks.